and welcome back to this little corner where lighting is a nightmare. Lighting is always a nightmare for me. I want to get one of those like lighting rings eventually, but until then it's either drag my light around, which clearly I'm too lazy to do, or this. Anyway, today I promise is not going to be another vlog where I promise you that I'm going to make more videos, because I'm tired. This is a tired vlog, y'all. It is Monday, it is my day off. I worked the entire weekend, literally Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I'm not complaining about that. I love my job. But I do drive 2 hours every day to get to my job and 2 hours to get back. I drive 4 hours a day. So I am a tired human being. And I have variable shifts, but I work from like 9 to 5:30 a lot. So that's, I leave home at 6:30 and I get home at like 7:30. If I'm lucky. Last night I was not lucky. Last night I left work at 5:33. Yeah, precisely 5:33. Whatever. I left work at 5:30 and I got home at 8:30 because it was raining. I drove into a bunch of rain, got stuck behind somebody going 55, and because I'm like, driving terrifies me in the first place, so I didn't want to like swap lanes when it was raining really heavy, because that shit's scary to me, especially because I was having to go 55 and I'm pretty sure people in the lane next to me were at least still going 70. This is all on the interstate, by the way. I hope you would infer that from how fast I'm talking about. But yeah, I use the interstate. Like, it's pretty much a straight shot up and down the interstate. But yes, rain, got stuck behind someone going slow, was in this like huge clump of traffic and couldn't get around them. Stopped at a rest stop that's about 50 miles away from home. It was like, the rain was letting up, so it was like good. It wasn't like I was stopping and trying to wait out a torrential downpour. Because I usually find you can just drive out of it, because this is Florida and it's just bands of weather. But that happened to me one time. It was just hurricaning. Literally, I'm pretty sure it was an actual hurricane. That was the weather condition dumping rain on the area. And I stopped at a rest stop, and we were like, oh, since we gotta like pee anyway. That's when I used a porta potty in a hurricane because that's how bad I had to pee. Because we pull into the rest stop and the rest stop itself is closed, and there's just a line of porta potties, and it's just like pouring, like the parking lot is like kind of flooded. And we sit there for a couple minutes and I'm like, maybe I can hold it. And then I'm just like, no. So yeah, that's the story of using a porta potty in a fucking hurricane. Anyway, we sat there for a little while and it wasn't letting up, and my fiance pulled up on his phone the weather radar and he's like, it's just sitting there, but if we drive, we'll drive out of it. And I was like, mother fricker. So yeah, that's why I wasn't like pulling over to wait out the rain. That was a weird tangent with a story about coming home last night. So I stopped at the rest stop, like used the bathroom, like leisurely, like stuffed a handful of goldfish into my face, called my fiance to let him know I'd be home later than expected, because I was already like 15-20 minutes behind my usual schedule. And I was like, I saw a sign, like one of those, I don't know, whatever, the like LED signs with the information on them, informational signs, there we go, words. I saw one of those signs that said something about a crash, but I didn't catch where, and I hadn't run into any traffic yet, so I'm like, well, so since I stopped here, I'm gonna check the traffic on my phone and proceed from there. And it turns out there were delays like just down the interstate for me. So I'm like, all right, well, I'll get off at like the next exit and at least get gas or something before I try to like do that. But it turned out that the slowing down was actually happening before the next exit. So I was just like dead stop on the interstate. Just trying to get to the exit like everyone else was, so it was hideously awful. I finally get, like, I'm sitting there, we're literally stopped on the exit, so I'm just like, alright, reroute me around this stuff, Google. So I'm like following the path Google is telling me to take. And then it wants me to get back on the interstate at the exact next exit. And I look up and I'm like, because it's like an underpass before it, and I look up and I'm like, traffic is still stopped right there. I'm not getting back on the interstate. And I'm only like 40 miles away from home at this point, and I'm like, I know that there is a non-interstate way to get from this city to my home. But like Google Maps won't tell you to do it. So I like pulled into a gas station that didn't have any gas, so I'm like, how long has this like mess been going on? Have people been like dumping off and getting gas here so much that like they don't have any? I don't know. It was strange, but I like pulled into a parking spot. Luckily, like I had enough gas to get home. I was just gonna get gas maybe, because you know, if you might end up taking a long way home, you might want gas. Like, so I had to like pull into a parking spot and like look at the map and like do my own navigation. And I'm like, all right, this street, this street, this street. Okay, fine. I'm starting to do that. I take like my first couple of turns or whatever, and the path I had plotted out goes under the third exit in this city, because there's 3 exits. As I just said, didn't really need to go backward and explain that, but now I'm on a tangent about how I didn't need to explain that. So yay, fun times with Labby Dragon. But yeah, so like I'm approaching the underpass, overpass, underpass, whichever. I was going to pass under it, except that I was going northbound. Southbound was a parking lot, but northbound had a few cars like shooting past, and I was like, oh, I'm past the blockage. And just got on, and I was still 40 miles from home though, so it was still gonna be at least 30 minutes before I got home, so it was just like, and I had just wasted like 30 minutes driving around the city to try to get to a path to get home. It was it's very humorous in retrospect. I was never in like a lot of danger at any point. Like, I just was like getting frustrated because like Google kept being like, get back on the interstate, and I'm like, I can see that I don't want to be on the interstate, Google. But you know, stuff happens. I didn't know how to manipulate that technology to be like, don't tell me to do that. So probably user error, maybe not, but it was also just a map. So I just was like, alright, I'm gonna just use Google as a legit map and not a bossy navigation service. Yeah, at least today was my day off. So I got home late before my day off. Got to sleep in a little today. And by sleep in, I mean I usually wake up at 5. when I have to be at work at 9. And today I woke up at 8 o'clock. Right? Like, real good at sleeping in, right? So yes, I'm very tired, but I love my job and just don't have the means to move to the city where my job is right now. I stayed in a hotel for the first week. I'm pretty sure I talked about that. And that's just like really expensive. So I'm not doing that. It was also kind of miserable because like I didn't have anything to do and I couldn't see my fiance. We video chatted, but you know, it's not the same. And it was just a little bit miserable to like not be in a place that felt like a home of any sort. Even though it was an extended stay hotel, and I've lived in one before for like a month, and it felt all right, but I actually had taken like a bunch of stuff because I went to that place and didn't come back. But because I was planning to come back home on my days off to visit my fiance, I didn't take as much because I didn't want to bounce it back and forth and all of this nonsense. It just made it a lot different and harder, and it was just pretty miserable, even though I love my job even then. Like, I really like this job. It's very exciting to get to be like a costumer, man. And I've been a costumer for several years for myself mostly, but to get to like really work in costuming as an industry is really fun and really cool. And that's about as much as I'm actually gonna talk about my job. I know I keep saying that, like, oh, I'm not gonna talk about my job, but I love my job so much, and like, yay, costumes, because that's about what I can say. Yeah, that's about what I can say. So yes, I've been very tired, and I've been behind on videos, but I'm just not gonna make any promises today in this video, like I may have made in the video exactly before I stopped putting out videos for a while. It was really just like 2 weeks, but we'll see. Yeah, that's all I'm gonna say for this video. It's like 15 minutes of yammering about traffic, so that seems like a video, right guys? Sorry, I am so tired and I'm trying really hard today, and it doesn't look like I'm trying really hard, but I am trying really hard. Trying to do the work on my day off. It's all good. Alright, I'll see everybody next time. Bye.